The Ice Dragons are a chapter of Adeptus Astartes that hails from the frozen death world of Polis. They were rumored to have appeared during the second founding and are said to be a successor chapter of the Salamanders. But unlike the Salamanders, who have a habit of using flamers and incendiary weapons, the Ice Dragons use a number of unique cry-weapons, such as flash phaser guns, along with a number of Hellfrost weapons that they were gifted by the Space Wolves in thanks to assisting the chapter prevent a Chaos invasion. Their relations with their parent chapter are surprisingly very good. They believe that the Salamanders fire balances their eyes and in fact enjoy fighting by their fellow brother chapter's side any and every chance they get. They are also on good terms with the Space Wolves due to the Ice Dragons introducing the Space Wolves to their fine wine and helping them stave off a Chaos invasion of a planet in the Space Wolf sector. However, the information concerning that campaign was sealed by order of the Ordo Hereticus of the Inquisition. The Ice Dragons have a particular set of beliefs, and while they follow the Codex Astartes, they see it as more of a set of guidelines as opposed to concrete rules, and believe that it is better to think for oneself in battle. Their battle tactics are a mixture of long-range and short-range combat. They will open fire with their combi bolt weapons while they work their way up to their objective, or if the enemy charges through the hailstorm of bolts and ice blasts and freeze rays, in which they will then switch to melee combat. The Ice Dragons, much like the Salamanders, are also known for making modifications to their weaponry, such as adding scopes, large ammo capacity magazines, and all forms of bayonets. They even have their own version of Hellfire ammunition called Cocytus Blight. When fired, the solution in the round activates when exposed to the heat of the propellant being set off and the pressure of the round being sent through the air. The projectile itself looks no different to the Hellfire round, but when fired, the projectile pierces through the armor of the target and then detonates inside the target, like a standard bolt round, but instead of making a massive explosive mess, the chemical compound in the bolt freezes everything it touches, absorbing all the heat energy in the target, causing said target to explode into a blast of frozen blood and shrapnel made from the armor the victim was wearing and icicles of the victim's solid frozen flesh. The Ice Dragons wear what looks like to be a replica of the Salamander's current power armor, but is colored an ice blue instead of dark green, with a white serpentine dragon on the right pauldron of their power armor as their chapter's insignia. Among the known famous Ice Dragon Astartes members, the most famous is the Terminator Squad captain Indigo Vermilion, whose deeds in the war on the Hive World Kreia against the War of Warboss Brainblast Bumcrumper became legend, where he held Hell's Highway, a narrow kilometers-long corridor giving entry to the Hive City from the outer wastelands by himself, with only a heavy bolter, several landmines, a turret he salvaged from a Lehman Russ tank wreckage, and his strategical mind turning it into an orc blender of a Deathlane killbox long enough for his reinforcements to arrive to finally drive the Horde out of Hive City Aeros and finally kill the warboss Bumcrumper. That war made legend as Bumcrumper's war's size was the second largest to face the Imperium, with the War of Gaskell Ulthrok Thraka being the first, and was awarded the Polis Ice Cross by the chapter master Glacius Marl. However, there are factions that are met with dislike and distrust, and sometimes outright hostility by the Ice Dragons. The list goes as such. The Angels of Brutality and the Marines Malevolent for how they mistreat civilians, including the populaces of the chapter's homeworlds. The Inquisition, who the chapter believes to be far too secretive and untrustworthy. The Black Templars for their dogmatic beliefs, and the killing of innocent imperial citizens for something as small and petty as heterochromia and other light and non-significant mutations. The Minotaurs, because the excessive collateral damage they tend to bring about, and the Wolves of Repentance for all the innocents they have killed. Aside from these factions, the Ice Dragons get along just fine with just about everyone else in the Imperium and are well respected by their allies.